No Rest for the Wicked just released its second major patch, The Breach, and with it, tons of new content to the game has been added. And in this video, I'm going to be running you guys through some tips that'll help you if you haven't played in a long time, that'll kind of refresh you to the mechanics of the game, or if you're a new player and you're jumping in with this update, to give you some basic information that can really help you. No Rest for the Wicked is a very challenging game, so some of this can save you a lot of time and a little bit of headache. Before we get into the tips themselves, though, big shout out to MoonStudios for sponsoring this video. If you like the look of No Rest for the Wicked and you haven't played it yet, you want to pick it up, use our link below to support the channel. First and foremost, No Rest for the Wicked's combat system includes a poise mechanic similar to Souls-like games, where either you or the enemy will stagger when poise is depleted. Enemy poise is hidden by default, but you can enable it in the gameplay settings. This will display a white bar over enemies, which helps significantly engaging how many attacks are needed to stagger them, which can make things a lot easier for you. If you do just one thing from this video, that would be the one to do. Secondly, as you begin playing, you'll notice various items like horseshoe crabs, mushrooms, and wood that can be gathered alongside your gear. It's important to collect these as early as you possibly can. If you don't have all the necessary gathering tools like shovels, pickaxes, axes, and fishing rods, you can buy them from the blacksmith if you're missing them. These resources are crucial for crafting food, which is your main source of healing, and for upgrading your gear and facilities in Sacrament. The more materials you gather early on, the less time you need to spend farming them later, and the more you can spend just exploring and in combat in the game. So this can save you a lot of valuable time if you just pick up everything you see as you go. Next, after defeating the first boss and gaining access to the hub area, Sacrament, talk to the Mason Maker Danos, and you can begin upgrading shops and unlocking new routes using your gathering materials. Prioritize upgrading the Rookery Staircase, as it will save you a lot of time by shortening the distance between the Whisper and your free storage. After that, focus on upgrading the Smithy and Alchemist to enable weapon upgrades and potion crafting earlier on in the game. Additionally, after reaching Sacrament for the first time, it's tempting to continue the storyline quest and proceed to the next area, which is a high-level area. This can quickly prove fatal, as you will be underleveled when you get there, and the enemies can take you out in as little as 1 or 2 hits. A good way, though, to gain experience points and some loot is by finishing the daily quests. The reason for this is that they require you to backtrack to low-level areas to finish them, and you'll be able to acquire more food, materials, and resources for upgrading your gear and facilities at the same time. Also, these activities reward you with a considerable amount of coins that will help you with upgrading your gear or extracting and putting runes into your weapons. Next, after reaching Sacrament, you can visit Eleanor to enchant your gear for 1 silver. These enchantments are random, and you can either get blue rarity, which offers 3 positive affixes, or purple rarity, which offers 5 affixes, but always includes 1 negative curse. Curses can be harsh, like extremely harsh. They can drain your health or make gear unrepairable, and while you can reroll affixes using Fallen Embers, the curse will always be replaced by another curse. If you're unsure about optimal affixes or still building your gear, it's often safer to stick with blue items that don't have negative effects, since these can really punish you for playing in a style that you want. Next, you cast spells in No Rest for the Wicked using focus points, which you build up by attacking enemies. Spells are tied to runes in your equipped weapons. Only magical weapons like staves and wands come with built-in spellcasting by default. Common weapons come with a single rune, which can be extracted by Eleanor, which will destroy the weapon in the process, but then you can insert these runes into the weapon of your choice, adding more options for skills or spells that you can use by consuming focus points to the weapons that you prefer to use. Note that not all runes are compatible with all weapon types. Runes from one-handed swords, for instance, won't work with two-handers and vice versa, so make sure that when you go and sacrifice a weapon in order to get runes out of it, that it's ones that you can apply to the weapons that you're using, otherwise you're just wasting that for no reason. Next, No Rest for the Wicked is very resource-heavy and combat punishing. Even if you gather food consistently, you may run out of healing for this reason. One of the ways you can alleviate this is the Healing Aura spell, which you can buy from Eleanor, which allows you to restore HP consuming your focus points instead of using food. As long as you hold down the spellcasting button or until you run out of focus, you'll continue healing. It's a useful tool for conserving food in tough areas. That way you can spend more time in combat and exploration and less time farming for food items. Another important thing is that gear utilizes a durability system that goes down every time you die, and since the game is very unforgiving and punishing, you're most likely to die a lot when starting out, easily breaking your gear. You can repair gear at the blacksmith by spending your hard-earned coins, but there is a spell that can help you save money. You can buy the repair spell from Eleanor, and this spell will allow you to repair your equipment without spending any of your coins. The downside of this spell, though, is that it costs 150 points of focus to use, which is a high amount since you only start with 100 points. So it's helpful to put some points into focus when you level up early on, which brings us to our next tip. You can eventually respec your stats at the Crucible using Fallen Embers, but these are rare resources, and they can also be used to reroll enchantments, so you don't necessarily want to use them respecking if you can avoid it, since you want to get those valuable enchantments with these items. Try to avoid having to respec by carefully balancing your stats. Don't just focus on strength, dexterity, or intelligence, but also add points into focus for spellcasting or to health and stamina for survivability. And as I just mentioned, if you're planning on using the repair rune, then you will absolutely need to put some points into focus in order to be able to even cast this, so that is a good place to begin. Additionally, try to reach 21 points in your main weapon scaling stat by around level 11 or so, as better weapons start requiring these stats around that level, and you want to be sure that you have enough of those stats in order to use these weapons, otherwise you may have a difficult time as you get to harder and harder areas of the game. Next, when you're just starting out in No Rest for the Wicked, inventory slots for different loot types are limited, and you'll notice equipable weapon and ring slots that are locked. You can unlock these by spending the Plague Ichor you've obtained from defeating bosses at the Watcher NPC. Although there is no wrong choice for the first upgrade you unlock, you do need to keep in mind that Plague Ichor resource is very rare, and it's not easy to come by, and you may end up regretting the choice you made early on, as there's no way to reverse this process. But generally, I recommend upgrading the resources inventory slot first, as you'll come across a lot of them in your adventures, and this will minimize the number of times you'll need to return to Sacrament to stash your resources and free up space. After finishing the Of Rats and Raiders quest line in No Rest for the Wicked, you can buy a house in Sacrament. Do this as soon as you can afford to do so. A house allows for additional storage and lets you place multiple crafting stations in one location, saving you trips to various vendors for refining and processing. Saving time in this game is extremely valuable as you want to spend it exploring and in combat as much as possible, and this is one of the ways that you can save yourself some time. The next tip is visit the Crucible. Accessible beneath the stonemason's workshop, the Crucible is a roguelite arena. While it doesn't grant experience, it does reward loot and resources if you reach level 5 in a single run. You'll choose temporary buffs during runs which help you experiment and improve your combat skills. At level 5, you'll unlock the altar to respec stats and access various Crucible-specific upgrades. Sacrament is home to a variety of NPC vendors that can offer essential services such as upgrading your gear, crafting items, and refining resources, but not everyone is there at the start of the game. You can unlock more vendors by finishing their respective quests, and one of them, the Alchemist, is easy to miss. Marcos the Alchemist can be found in the cave underneath the Oberon Glades area, which can be accessed by going down the ladder near the campfire. After finishing the quest he gives, which can be done before the first boss fight, he will move to Sacrament and you will unlock his services where you can buy potions and bombs. You can also craft these after upgrading his shop, so you ensure you never run out of supplies on your journey. And lastly, No Rest for the Wicked has a system where your characters and the realms they play in are separate and are not bound to one another. As such, you can create new realms that you can take your existing characters into and play in. This allows you to restart the journey using your favorite characters, going through the beginning areas again and repeatedly fighting the first boss if you want to farm experience and more loot, or if you're looking for a specific legendary loot that can drop from the first boss. Consider taking your character into a new realm if they feel stuck and they just can't progress. That way they can gain some extra experience and loot that will help them move forward in a different realm. Oh, and one more tip. No Rest for the Wicked has a huge variety of weapons that you'll be able to find and use on your adventures, and you'll want to swap out your weapons as you find new and better ones from loot drops, which is normal. It is important to remember, though, that each weapon in the game has a unique attacking combo of its own, even if it's the same type of weapon as another. For instance, if you're using two different axes, they'll have different movesets and attack speeds, and this can catch you off guard when you're first starting out. It's helpful to see how the attacks are between different weapons when deciding whether to use them or not, so if you pick up a new weapon, test it out before engaging enemies in combat. So that kind of wraps up my No Rest for the Wicked beginner guide. I hope you guys found some useful information in this one, and it's been updated to the breach for those of you that are returning that haven't played in a while, or if you're brand new, it's absolutely up to date. And No Rest for the Wicked can be a very challenging game, and if you don't know some of this information, it can be even more challenging. So I hope this makes things just a little bit easier for you and gets you off to a good start so that you can just power your way through the game and enjoy this game for what it is.